And
Hello.
hello, everybody. Welcome to what is, it feels like our first edition, Tracy, of
It
what we're
does.
now
It does. We have an
branding.
opening video and everything.
The whole thing. I mean, it's amazing. So welcome, everybody, to our first edition, I guess,
Yep.
of The Link. Season 1, Episode 1.
Yes. Let's hope there are not too many seasons of this.
No, we don't want too many. But I must admit, Tracy, it has been fun, even in this time, to be engaging, not only like we're engaging now, but also allowing our congregation to engage with us. So
I know, it's been amazing. And there has been some really great content, good words of advice, good stories. And we have some great stuff coming up today as well. Leanne,
yes.
why don't we quickly remind or tell everyone why we called this The Link?
Oh, man.
It was your idea, I think. So tell us why.
So, I long for us to be back together again in The Link, right? It's the place where people walk into our community. It's the place where we drink coffee. It's the place where we chat. It's the place, I think about the people who would always arrive early for a service or hang out after a service.
Yeah.
And exactly these things happen in The Link. We're just taking it online. We're just saying, hey guys, this is actually the time where we would normally either before or after a service hang out. And so I just thought it would be a great connection. Our family know what The Link is.
Yeah.
And so this is just taking The Link online. I'm so excited. It's really cool.
Awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah. So Tracy, you were telling me a little earlier about some new terminology. It's actually it's quite a giggle. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I was actually reading an article about some of the stuff that's happening in the UK, and I came across this great term called COVIDiots. So I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. COVIDiots. I think that sounds good. COVIDiots. So yeah, basically people that are completely disregarding the law. And actually the context of the article was about how many COVIDiots had been arrested actually. So yeah, so guys, make sure that you are not being a COVIDiot this week. As tough as this is, make sure that you do not resort to being a COVIDiot.
Yeah, no, and, indeed.
This is why we're staying at home.
Right?
This is why these are, this is not something I think we need to play around with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think, Tracy, I mean, it is a tough time. Like, we're not negating the fact that it's a tough time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just do what you need to do within the framework of what our president, I think, has asked us to do. So, and that's just being a responsible citizen and a responsible person of faith. So
absolutely.
That's my take on it. So we've got some really cool people on The Link this morning, and I'm so excited to see what comes. So Tracy, maybe you want to just tell us a little bit about Harrison, and we're going to hear from him a little this morning.
Yeah, so Harrison Nash is from Maranatha, the children's home that we support, and actually I don't even like saying that. I like saying that they're actually part of our family.
Right.
They come to church on Sundays. So for those of you who come to our morning service, you would know many of the Maranatha kids. They come to our youth activities. So they really are part of the family.
Yeah.
And in fact, Harrison, you probably have seen him a couple of times up on the stage. We have got him involved a couple of times with stuff. And so we asked him if he wouldn't just talk to us a little bit about what's been happening in Maranatha. Obviously, they have plenty of challenges during this time. And so, we just wanted to chat a little bit about how things were, how they were handling things, what they needed. So we are going to we're going to do that. Quickly, I see there's a whole bunch of people online. Everyone's saying good morning. So remember, everyone, that you can comment in the comments. You can say hi. You can tell us what you're up to, where you are, if you're sitting on your couch making coffee. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you this morning. So yeah, Leanne, why don't we'll go across to Harrison now.
Awesome.
Hi everyone, it's Harrison Nash here, Program Manager at Maranatha and proud member of Walmer Methodist. It's my pleasure to speak to you all this morning and talk to you a little bit about how things have been here at Maranatha during our lockdown period. First of all, well, a lot of change for everybody, especially for us and our children and our young people. We've been used to going to a lot of activities outside, having volunteers come in, obviously coming to church every Sunday and youth and the other programs. So trying to make the necessary adaptations so that we can carry on with our services and activities here has been a challenge, one facing many institutions during lockdown, but definitely one that I've had to try and endure along with the team here. We've integrated technology wherever we can. We're doing a lot of things online and through Zoom, like with church here as well. We have fitness training classes. We've got hip hop dancing that is done live each week, a couple times a week. The children are loving that, tuning in and doing a live lesson in our hall here. We also had a music stimulation session online, even a Spanish language lesson. So it's nice for the children to be able to connect in the cyberspace and engage in some different activities that they wouldn't usually be exposed to. In terms of how the kids themselves are managing, of course it's difficult for them, as it is for children throughout the country and indeed the world at the moment. Our children already have the challenge of being separated from their families, and for many the anxiety levels are heightened because they don't know what's happening with their families, their aunts, their uncles, parents who are separated from them. They worry about what is happening, and maybe when they were used to at least seeing them in a school holiday or sometimes speaking to them, at this point in time it's quite challenging for them. So of course those worries are real, and the team here are helping to counsel those children and young people through it. I'm also finding that some of the teenagers and the older young people are especially affected at this time. You know, sometimes the children themselves are more resilient, but for our older high school youth and young adults, it really is affecting them. So part of what we're trying to do is prioritize their mental well-being wherever possible as well. Well, what have the kids enjoyed doing? Life skills. We've tried to keep that as active as possible. Learning new things that the children maybe haven't had the time to do before. We've been baking bread, we made homemade pasta, you know, going to the pantry and looking into some of those cupboards and seeing what ideas we can come up with for the children to keep them stimulated and busy and happy wherever possible. It's been a big challenge, however, for me as program manager, coordinating the school and educational activities for the children. I must say thank you and express gratitude to the schools and teachers who have been collaborating and sending through work and being very diligent and sending lots of things through for us to mark and submit, and all these online websites and other new mechanisms that has been put in place. For us coordinating all of the kids in their different spaces with their work that they have to do each week is a challenge, but we will always prioritize education. I'm going to let you hear from some of the young people to share some of their lockdown experiences as well and what it's been like for them through this lockdown period.
Hi everyone, I'm one of the young girls from Maranatha, sharing my lockdown experience. For me, it's been quite challenging since the schools are down, shops are down, which is very important for young people. We like to be out there, which can't happen. It's been a challenge with schoolwork, having to do everything from home, no teachers to guide you. But the best part also is we're standing together. And I just want to say to all the young people out there, never stop praying, keep us in your prayers. And stand strong. We're gonna get through this. See you next time at church.
hi to all the young people and the people at Women Methodist Church, also from Women Methodist, and I would just like to say that my lockdown experience has been one of the most memorable in my life, like especially with the matric challenges that we have, and we even have a matric farewell this year, and will we even have a matric, or are we doing it next year? And our families, to be not connected to them is something very challenging, and for me, I'm a very family orientated and friendly person, so I like to be out there and like go to see my friend and spend time with them, but with this lockdown I can't do that. And so I would just like to say that there is some good things coming out of the lockdown, but yeah, for me it's very challenging.
Well, as you heard from some of our young people, there are challenges, of course, that everyone is experiencing in lockdown. And at Maranatha, we've been an essential service. We've operated from the very beginning, taking care of children and adults alike. And part of what we have to ensure that we do, and it's a point to pray on as well, is to ensure that our children and kids are fine. And I don't just mean fine in terms of health, but I mean fine in terms of their own mental wellness and well-being as well. And we appreciate everyone keeping us in thoughts and prayer throughout this whole time as well. In terms of how you can maybe look at ways of supporting us here by Maranatha, well, in terms of health in general, we will take any fruit, vegetable donations. All of those things are most welcome for us. Essential household items as well, crockery, utensils, anything that you would take in terms of running a household. We've had to adapt some of our units here to make isolation flatlets and make sure we have all the precautions in place for isolation and quarantine whenever needed. So those kind of household supplies are also welcome. Clothing for our children, it's pajamas and tackies. At this stage, they've been doing a lot of outside activities, so tackies is a big need. But also for our adults as well. For our adult men, for example, we need things like underpants and other essential clothing items that we can issue out as needed. Other things are bicycles. We would love new bicycles for our children if anyone can think to support with that. Furniture items that we could also utilize here, and basically, as I said earlier, prayer. We would ask that you will keep us in prayer. You'll pray for the work that we are doing, and pray that, yes, soon in the future, we will all be able to come together at Women Methodist once again as the one big church family that we are. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our conversation this morning here by Maranatha, and we're sending all of you our best.
That was just awesome. It's
Wonderful.
So great to hear from them and to see some of the kids. So yeah, I hope you caught there what they need. Quite a couple of things. So if there's anything that you can help out with, probably the best thing is to contact the church office, or to contact you can find Maranatha on Facebook. They're called Maranatha Street Workers Trust. You can find them there and either make contact with them, or we'll make a plan to get stuff to them.
Yes.
So let us know. I know, there have been some people asking how they can drop stuff off at the church. If you do need to know more information about that, you can also message us, and we'll make a plan for you to drop stuff off if you are able to do that. I also just want to touch on one other thing that Harrison said. He spoke about the mental well-being and making sure that their kids were doing fine mentally. And I think that's something that's so important during this time, especially where stress levels are high, where there's high anxiety, where there's a lot of frustration. It can take a toll on our mental health. And so we also just want to let you know that we do have trained counselors. All our pastors are trained to counsel. We also have a bunch of other counselors who are able to help out at this time. So if you feel like you need to chat to someone, you need some counseling, we are available to help. So you can go to our contact page on our website, That's womanmethodist.co.za/contact. And you can get some information about how to contact us should you need to chat to someone to make sure that you are doing okay, looking after your mental health.
Yeah. And in fact, Trace, people can even message us on Facebook if they need to. You know,
Yeah,
I think a lot
absolutely.
of people are watching from Facebook Live. And so if you want to message us, we can certainly direct you to the right kind of person. So who can actually help you and maybe talk through some things with you.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation this week with Debbie. It's actually been wonderful to connect over her song. And so we thought it would be great to bring her into the link this morning and to hear how that all evolved. Some of us have heard it, some haven't. Wait, you will have a chance to hear it this morning. Let's hear from Debbie this morning. Debs, thanks so much for joining us this morning on our new version of The Link. We're quite excited to be launching that this morning. But you sent me a message in the week, and you sent me a link to this beautiful song that you've written on YouTube. And so I'm so excited for you because I feel like this is something as a worshiper has probably been a dream for a long time. So tell me a little bit about your song. I think it's amazing.
Well, hi, everyone. It's lovely to be able to talk to you all. I can't see you all, but I'm just welcoming you all out there and saying hi. This song, I haven't written a song for a very long time, put it that way. Maybe because I thought I was past my sell-by date. And maybe because I've got such a musical family.
It's a little intimidating.
They've stepped into that sort of role. Alison posts a lot of songs. And I felt like they weren't good enough. But with this particular song, I must be honest, I felt like God really wanted me to share it. So I was very daring, actually.
Very daring. So it's based on Psalm 46, which has been quite like we're using Psalm 46 a lot at the moment. It's come through our devotionals. I think Jonathan's used it. Maybe you can just give us an idea of the words and why Psalm 46. Why did that stand out for you?
Well, besides the fact that I happened to have listened to a message from Francis Chan that morning on Psalm 46, I'd really been focusing on Psalm 91, I must be honest, out of the Psalms. And so my attention was taken to Psalm 46. And it was just so relevant for me because I was just hearing so many voices around.
A lot of voices.
And I was aware that that psalm had a line that is really very well known.
Yes.
And that line stood out for me. Be still and know that I am God.
Yeah.
And, I just really I feel that psalm speaks about the majesty and the power of God, the greatness of God, the almighty power, and reminds us that all these fears we have, based on all the possible scenarios that could come out of this pandemic. It was sort of almost not drowning me, but confusing me. And that voice was just so much from God. Be still. Relax. I am God. I am big. I am strong. I am mighty.
Yes.
You can trust me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's how I was led to the psalm. And there are many psalms that speak about God's almighty power, specifically in nature. But also when it comes to wars and to man's destructiveness. So it really, I actually believe this virus is a consequence of man's sin and the destruction that we actually have released through our sinfulness on this beautiful world.
Sure. So, Debs, I also know that this hasn't just been, as much as this is your song, you've had quite a bit of help. And, as intimidating as it is to say, look, I created something.
Right.
It seems like your family have really supported you. Tell me a little bit about that and a bit about that journey.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been aware that when you create something, you're making yourself very vulnerable.
Ooh.
When you share it. You're sort of opening yourself for criticism of what you've made. Like you bake a cake or you write a poem or whatever it is, and then you hand it into your lecturer and you get 40%, you know. And it's like you know, with my daughter being very musical, being a music teacher, and my son-in-law an expert in media, and my other daughter also singing with the Bethel people and things like that. It was like a big deal for me actually to send it to them initially. So I started with that, checking out if they thought this song was something worth sharing. I sang it with my guitar, with my skill on my guitar, and I really believe God's given me a voice that's strong, so I wasn't scared of singing it. It was more my accompaniment.
Yes.
And Ali said to me, "Mom, it's a good song." And she sat down on the media, on her, with all, you know, you can do amazing stuff these days.
Yeah.
Sat down with Brendan, and the two of them put a piano accompaniment to it, and added a few minor chords where they felt it would be useful.
Yes.
And took the very words I'd written, the very tune I'd done, and made it sound absolutely amazing. Brendan Becker added strings to the piano accompaniment, and then when I had put my voice to it, Alison added a harmony, and so it was a team effort. But it didn't stop there.
No,
because on the evening before Mother's Day, I thought, I know my son-in-law is very busy, but maybe he can make the time for a Mother's Day present to put some visuals and words. And so I risked with Haley, and she said, of course. And I asked him, and he said he'd love to. And actually, he posted it at about 12 o'clock their time. So he really, he made an effort late at night to get it done.
So special.
And I sent the words to Haley, and he put the words and the visuals, and I think they did an amazing job. And so it's really a family effort.
A family, indeed. And I think that's part of our, in fact, creativity's come up for me a couple of times in the last couple of days. Like God, God, the creator, made us in his image so that we can co-create with him. And I think, that's where, innovation comes in, and where people are able to say, hey, here's a problem. How can I be a part of the solution? And I think, even from a musical perspective, Debs, I feel like this is part of the solution. It's sharing the gospel in a way that reaches probably more than maybe a sermon, for instance, might.
Music is something that is very powerful.
Yeah.
And the words too, if they are put together in a way that makes them very clear, and the message is understood, it can be a very, very strong evangelical tool. Because at this time, especially, many people are feeling very vulnerable and needing encouragement.
They are.
And needing to know that God is big, and needing to know that he loves them and cares about them. So I even sent this to some of my friends who aren't Christians.
Yeah.
I asked God who I should send it to, and I very daringly did. And I shared with them that it was something God gave me, and I wanted to encourage them with the I was given.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am good. It's so good, Debs.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am good. Be still and know that I am close. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am good. Be still and know that I am close. Be still and know that I am God. This God is my refuge and my strength, always present to help in time of trouble. Though earth give way and mountains shake and fall and waters roar, I will not fear. Though earth give way and mountains shake and fall and waters roar, I will not fear. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am good. Be still and know that I am close. Be still and know that I am God. Come and see the wonders of my hands, and I will be exalted among the nations. All wars will cease, and weapons will be shattered, and I will be exalted in the earth. All wars will cease, and weapons will be shattered, and I will be exalted in the earth. When I lift my voice, the earth will melt. When I lift my voice, all kingdoms fall. When I lift my voice, the earth will melt. When I lift my voice, all kingdoms fall. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am good. Be still and know that I am close. Be still and know that I am God.
Thank you, Debbie, for that beautiful song. It really is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I feel like it's touched a lot of hearts, and I feel like it's so relevant for the time that we're in. So, what a pleasure to have her join us on the link this morning. I do want to say, don't forget that we are now having our service at 9 a.m. It's a separate link, so go back to our Facebook page and join us. We're going to start that live in about 10 to 9. You can actually catch Tracy and Benjamin, so that should be fun. So yes,
there's time to make a quick cuppa before that.
Quick cuppa, yes. So thanks so much for joining us on the link. Thanks, Tracy, for joining me. And yeah, have a wonderful Sunday.
Yeah, quick two things, guys. Remember that so the link starts at 8:15. So from next week you can join us at 8:15. And if you missed some of this morning's if you missed the interview with Harrison, you can catch that. It will still be on our Facebook page and YouTube, so you can go back and watch that if you'd like to do so. Yeah.
And we're also posting Debbie's song, so if you want to hear it again, it'll be on our Facebook page.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye, family.